Hello, dear children. How are you all? Hope you all are in good health. Children, today we are going to start with the fourth lesson in English, the blue light. Vaikom Muhammad Bashir, 1908 to 1994, was a novelist and short story writer from Kerala. He was also a freedom fighter. His styles of writing made him popular with both literary critics and readers, and his work has been translated into different languages all over the world. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1982 and is thought to be one of the most successful writers from India. Children, now let us start with the lesson, The Blue Light. But tell me, what does the word blue light mean in the lesson? What does it stand for? For this, we need to read the lesson and understand it very carefully. So let us now read. The speaker in the story is a writer who has rented an old house on the outskirts of a small town in Kerala. The house has no electricity and is not well looked after. But the speaker finds it a perfect place to write his next novel. After he moves in, the locals warn him that the house is haunted by a ghost named Bhargavi. The speaker does not take the warning very seriously. 2.5 months pass and he begins to forget about Bhargavi. Then one day something happens. So, children, what we read is that there is a narrator or a speaker in the story. Okay, and he has rented a small and old house on the outskirts of a small town in Kerala. Can you find out Kerala on the map, children? House was on the outskirts of a small village and it was not well looked after. There was even no electricity over there. But Speaker found that place very interesting to write his novel. The speaker in the story wanted to write a novel and he found that old house which was not looked after a perfect place to write his novel. After he moved to the house, the locals, that means the villagers, warned him and they told him that the house is haunted by a ghost named Bhargavi. The speaker in the story did not take the warning very seriously. 2.5 months passed and he also forgot about Bhargavi. Then one day something happened. What do you think, children? What must have happened? Let us see. The narrator in the story was busy writing his novel and it was around 10 o'clock at night. The speaker was busy writing his story. It was a very emotional piece. That means a piece of writing which is full of strong feelings. And the speaker was very much involved and indulged in writing. He was busy writing and concentrating on his work. He was writing very feverishly. That means very excitedly and with lot of energy. When he felt that the light from the lantern is becoming gradually dimmer and dimmer, he picked up the lamp and shook it. Then he found out that there was no kerosene in it. As I said, children, he was concentrating on the story which he was writing. That story was very much important to him. So he continued to write his story. All his attention was on the story which he was writing. He continued to write and write when he felt that the light is getting dimmer and dimmer, until finally it went out altogether. That means it was all dark. Imagine, children, it is night, the lantern gets dimmer and it went out finally, and everything was dark. The narrator needed some kerosene. He remembered that he could go to the bank and get some. His friends who worked at the bank lived in one portion of the building. I could borrow some kerosene from their stove, he said to himself. In a hurry, now the narrator grabbed the torch and the empty kerosene bottle to go to his friend's place. In order to get some kerosene, the narrator went downstairs and locked his main door. He started walking to go to his friend's place. Outside, there was misty moonlight. The sky was overcast. That means the sky was covered with grey clouds. The narrator then started walking fast. Children, nowadays, as it is rainy season going on, we find that the sky is overcast with rainy grey clouds, right? The narrator started to walk fast. He was in a hurry because he wanted to collect the kerosene from his friend's house, go back to his place, and again start writing his novel. When he reached the front of the bank building, he called out his friends. Soon one of the friends came down and opened a side gate to let the narrator come into their house. Then both of them started walking the side of the building and climbed up the stairs. When the narrator entered his friend's place, he saw that all his three friends, the other friends, were having a joyful time and they were playing cards. The narrator told his situation that he is running short of kerosene and the light went off. So he needs some kerosene now. When the narrator told that he needs some kerosene, one of the friend laughed and said, "Couldn't you have asked Bhargavi to fetch you some kerosene?" And then they both started laughing. While one of them was pouring out some kerosene from the stove, it started to rain. As we have already learned that the sky was overcast and was filled with grey clouds, now it has started raining. The next part will be covered in the second video. But in order to understand the lesson thoroughly, we need to read the lesson too. So let us read it now. It must have been around 10 o'clock. I had been writing A story since 9. It was a highly emotional piece. I was writing feverishly when I felt the light from the lantern becoming gradually dimmer. I picked up the lamp and shook it. There was no kerosene in it. But I did not want to stop writing. All my attention was on the story I was writing. I continued writing as the light got dimmer and dimmer until finally it went out altogether. Now I needed some kerosene. I remembered that I could go to the bank and get some. My friends who worked at the bank lived in one portion of the building. I could borrow some kerosene from their stove. So I picked up the torch and the empty kerosene bottle, went downstairs and locked the main door. Outside there was misty moonlight and the sky was overcast. I walked fast. When I reached the front of the bank building, I called out to my friends. Soon one of them came and opened a side gate. We then walked along the side of the building and climbed up the stairs. The three of them had been playing cards. When I told them I needed some kerosene, one of them laughed and said, "Couldn't you have asked Bhargavi to fetch you some kerosene?" I laughed too, but I did not say anything. While one of them was pouring out some kerosene from their stove, it started to rain. Vocabulary: a highly emotional piece, a piece of writing which is full of strong feelings. Feverishly, excitedly, and with lot of energy. Kerosene, an oil that is extracted from petroleum. Overcast, covered with grey clouds. Children, here we come to an end of the first part of the lesson, The Blue Light. We will meet soon to find out what happened next in the life of the narrator. Till then, take care and bye.